Welcome in and welcome to Lecture 1 of our Final Fantasy Tactics, the Ivalice Chronicles lecture series. My name is Professor Noctis. I am a University of Alabama faculty member who uses video games to teach religion and a whole lot of other things. And tonight on stream, we are going to be looking at Final Fantasy Tactics, the Ivalice Chronicles. We got to give a shout out to Square Enix for providing the game for this stream. So thank you for being one of our sponsors for this stream. So excited. Everybody, I'm excited about this game because last week, we started this stream, kind of, and it was really syllabus day. And anybody at the university knows that syllabus day doesn't really count. Syllabus day is like the day that you tolerate, right? And then you get into the real stuff in week 2 or the second or third day of class. And so this is going to be a little bit different than some of my other lecture plays. I want to kind of explain this. Tonight and all of our Final Fantasy Tactics lecture play sessions are going to emulate how I teach in my actual classes at the University of Alabama, okay? And so we're going to have about 90 or so minutes of both gameplay and lectures in the midst. But just like my students in my class, I'm going to ask some things of you. I'm going to be asking you to participate a little bit, to chime in with your thoughts and your ideas and all of that kind of stuff. So I hope that you have a phone or a window open on your laptop or something like that, because I'm going to ask you to Google and search for certain things to contribute to the conversation as we go along, because I need your help. I'm going to be fighting for my life playing the actual game. But we're going to go through about 3 or 4 battles tonight, and then we're going to kind of proceed from there. Okay, so your homework for this week, and it is okay if you didn't do it. We are here for everybody. We're going to catch you up. But your homework for this week was to get through Chapter 1 of Final Fantasy Tactics. Last week, we opened up with a couple of cutscenes, and we're going to kind of remember and marinate on those tonight, and then we're going to go into some of the next pieces of this game, okay? This game, even though it takes place in the fictitious world of Ivalice, the story of this game has so many, I guess, implications for a lot of real world sort of things, okay? And so we're gonna get into some of those real world things. Real world things like politics, about history, about religion. Somebody on Blue Sky earlier today said, his name's Denuno, I think, I hope I'm saying that right, Denuno. He said, I have always loved Final Fantasy Tactics. It was the first story that really spoke to me, and it helped me think through my religious faith and actually led me to start really thinking critically of it, and I ended up walking away from faith. And that's a lot of people's story about Final Fantasy Tactics. Now, I want you to know something. I was kind of the opposite of that. I played Final Fantasy Tactics as a brand new religious person in my middle school years, and I did not get all the way through it, but I got far enough to get into some of the religious stuff. And it actually made me ask deeper questions, to the point, I guess, that I got 3 degrees in it. And those questions only serve to kind of help me understand more why the church and religion was not only a good thing, but something that I could kind of understand from a critical standpoint. And now I teach it at a university level. And I teach people who are religious, and I teach people who are non-religious. This game has the power to help us reframe real-world things. Reframe them into ways that are helpful and unhelpful and all that kind of stuff. And so that's one of the things that I wanted to do this series for, because I know that this story is really powerful. For my money, it's probably one of my top 5 favorite Final Fantasy stories. Now, I wouldn't include it in the mainline stories, but just in all of Final Fantasy, I probably put it up there in the top 5 just because it's really, really powerful. It might be number 3 for me. You can do the guesswork of what the others are. but 2 of them have been very academic for me. So where we last left off, Avilia was abducted and we ended up saving a young man named Argath, and we sure do hate Argath. But I want to show you this quick scene of Avilia's abduction.
No, Lady Avilia.
This way, be quick. And try making less noise.
I'll not take orders from you!
You've quite a mouth on you, princess. Forgive me. It is your birth and faith that wrong you, not I.
Lady Avilia.
There's our hero Ramza and Delita.
Do my eyes deceive me? Is it truly him?
Me too, subtext.
Lady Avilia.
Delita. He lives. But why does he serve under the banner of Duke Goltana? I do not understand.
Chad, this is how the game really begins. It begins with the question of why is Delita doing what he is doing here? And it's asking that key question. So with that cutscene, we welcome you to the world of tactics and theology. And this is where we're going to uncover a lot of real-world history and theology woven into Final Fantasy Tactics. Tonight's lecture, I have coined War, Faith, and Betrayal, because we're going to be exploring how medieval Europe's great conflicts may have shaped Ivalice's history. So we're going to actually talk about 2 primary events in history tonight that mirror the game's world. The first one is the 100 Years' War, and the second one is what we call the Avignon Papacy. Later, we're going to see how these tensions kind of give rise to something called the Western Schism. So you're actually going to learn a good deal of history tonight. But the Western Schism you may remember from grade school, and if not, that's okay. I have to refresh myself on all this stuff too. It was a time when there were actually multiple popes at once, and so we're going to get into some of that. So we just began with the events of Orban Monastery, where both the story and the question at the heart of this game is who controls the sacred story and how are allegiances really born? That's really the very beginning of this game, and I love it. In this scene that we just saw, we're able to ask a couple of questions like who are these people like Avilia, and you've got these seeming priests or monks and stuff, and this is all representative of the Church of Glabados, okay? And this is the religious authority of Ivalice. Its role as historian, judge, and power broker really mirrors the real world Avignon Papacy. So here's what I want you to do, chat. I want you in your separate window or on your phone or whatever, I literally want you to Google the Avignon Papacy, and it's spelled Avignon. And I just want you to kind of read over it. I want you to think, if I were to ask you, what is the Avignon Papacy? Give me some of the answers that you are getting from this. I'm going to give you just a couple of key things here. And this is kind of a quick lecture format that's going to frame some of the things we're about to get into in this game. The Avignon Papacy is really referring to an interesting time in about early 1300s when Pope Clement V left the chaos of Rome and moved the papal court to France, Avignon. For nearly 70 years, the popes lived under the heavy influence of French kings. And this papacy kind of became very wealthy, very opulent, nobility, okay? Gold-draped halls, royal banquets, cardinals acting like princes instead of servants. Historians really call this period, especially Martin Luther, the Babylonian captivity of the church, because it was not only a division of the church, but it was also kind of like a hijacking of what made priests and ministers in those days servants, and it kind of robbed it of some of that. Now, there were certainly some good things with it, but there was a lot of things that also kind of happened. So one of our RAs actually posted this. We posted this on our website, profnoctis.com, where you are able to read some of our community contributions, real students making real contributions. And he says, French influence impressed upon the papal court at Avignon a need to adopt more of a royal court style. And the Pope was afforded privileges common to kings and the emperor, and cardinals and bishops, again, became more like princes than teachers. And that's what the Church of Glabados is. Bishops as nobles, inquisitors as generals, and salvation as kind of statesmanship and stagecraft. That kind of gives us this introduction into the world of Final Fantasy Tactics. In the last stream, we ended with a little bit of intrigue. We met a new guy named Argath, and we're really going to come to love and hate him shortly. But that is where we pick up tonight. So with that, let's get into our first kind of scenes together. We're going to go up to a place called Egros Castle, where our protagonist Ramza Beowulf returns to family. Nick, great to have you here as a history teacher. I'm a religion professor, and so if you've got anything to add about history, please put it in the chat. This is a group learning sort of thing. I'm just kind of the curator tonight.
They sing your praise from on high. You do honor to our name, my brother, and to me.
I am glad.
Oh? You would not seem it.
I am. Forgive me. Your words do me far more honor than I have done you. No doubt word has already reached you, but the Marquis de Limbre's carriage was waylaid, and the Marquis taken. What have you in mind to do?
I have already asked Zalbarg to dispatch a squad in pursuit. These brigands must eventually come forth to demand ransom. That is, assuming the Marquis yet lives.
I beg of you, Count Beowulf.
This is Ben Starr, Die Starr.
100 men that I might hunt the Horsens down. Please, my lord, grant me the means to avenge my fallen friends.
Mayhap your ears fail you. I said that a squad is to be dispatched. You are not a man of Gallione. Leave her affairs to those of us who are.
But, my lord...
Do not assume to beg favors of me. Let me remind you, Argath, lest you forget your place. You are but another sword, not yet even knighted.
Chad, I love this freaking scene, because Argath is the worst of us.
Remain here at Egros and serve among the castle guard.
Yeah.
You needn't worry. Danger is not like to visit these walls.
Keeping Ramza and Delita safe, I gotta talk about this really, really fast.
My own house was once respected as highly as House Beowulf, you know?
Argath is nobility, but the power of his family has kind of waned. And so he's come to Dystarg to kind of ask some favors, right? Let's go take care of it. He calls them whoresons, which you can imagine sons of, you know. He's speaking these words as a way of just being like, hey, let's go get them and like, join me. And Dystarg puts him in his place. And I absolutely freaking love that. Argath, however, masquerades as this nobility. He's kind of like old money, all right? And so he's got the station, but he no longer has the clout to some degree. So I think it's really interesting.
At least, until my grandfather was captured during the war, after his fortress was overrun. In hopes of saving his own hide, he divulged intelligence about our forces. Positions, numbers, supply routes, whatever it took, he rendered up to the enemy. He turned traitor, thinking to buy his freedom with the lives of his friends. But his freedom scarce outlived his honor. He was not a dozen paces out of the gate when the dagger found his back, killed by some common squire no more a knight than I. One of his supposed comrades spread word of his misdeeds. My Lord Father would have none of it, of course. But he was the only one. Our bannerman deserted us. Our reputation ruined. I suppose I had best remember my place. Your lord brother has no reason to lend ear to pleas from the likes of me.
Delita!
The voice acting just elevates this
Teacher.
game so much.
Alma!
Love it.
Zalbog!
It's so good.
Ramza, you've come home!
It has been some time, hasn't it, Zalbog?
I heard about Garland. They say you made short work of those brigands. Now you've truly the right to call yourself a Beowulf. Father would be proud.
Thank you, Lord Brother.
You certainly haven't changed. Gods forbid you show a bit of cheer on being praised. And you, Delita, do not think word of your deeds escapes our ears. Your sister's been so full of pride I quite fear she might burst.
Worry not, my seams have held. Glad to see you looking so well, Delita.
And are you? Have you settled in at school?
Yes, the others have all been quite kind to me.
Would that we could speak at greater leisure, but there are duties that require my attendance. Rogues do not catch themselves.
I understand. Good luck.
Chat, I want you to think about what is the purpose of this particular scene, okay?
Oh.
Oh, I do want to
Received a
update
note
that,
of
thank you.
ransom from the Corpse Brigade.
What?
Something about it sits unwell with me. They are anarchists, to be sure, bent on bringing down the aristocracy. But they fancy themselves righteous, and prey only on the nobility and those in our employ. Indeed, when they took hostages in the past, they demanded only in exchange for their captured brethren. Would such as they truly kidnap the Marquis for want of coin?
Why wouldn't they? They're naught but common footpads. What would they know of honor?
Let's stop here for a second, because there's been a lot of exchanges here, and this is just rich people crap, right? It's just like rich people being like, let's talk about the commoners, and like, oh, you know they would do this. It's not time and contextual specific. It is so ever perennially relevant, where the rich caricature the poor and the lowly. And so you've got Zalbag talking about the rogues. You know, are they so desperate for coin that they might kidnap the Marquis? Argath is like, of course they are. They're nobodies. And this is just kind of the rich. How would a student say it? It's just the rich sniffing their own farts, right? That's what one of my students might say. It's just like they are all just like wafting their own aromas. What I love about what happens next, this scene sets this up, and the subsequent scenes really kind of subvert this. Obviously, that has
One
huge
of the men I
implications
dispatched
for
to
us.
watch them has not returned. I suspect he learned something of import and was caught for it. However, there are those who do not think some mere spy worth a search party's efforts.
Where was he last known to be?
In Dorta, the merchant city east of Galleon. Guarding a castle grows dreadfully dull. Wouldn't you agree?
Forgive us, Teacher. It seems we must be leaving sooner than we had planned.
Also, sibling love, right?
Don't worry about me.
Everybody's
Just
weakness.
take care of yourself.
I will. Mind your studies. I'll be back before you've even noticed
Mind your
I'm gone.
studies.
Let's be on our way.
Drumjod, I have played this before. This is the
Teacher
first time
puts
I
on a
finished
brave
the game. I
face,
didn't finish
but
it
the
as
truth
middle
is
school.
not as honeyed as her words.
What do you mean?
She has a hard time of it at school. The others tease her for being lowborn. Forgive me. I shouldn't have said anything. I'm sure you have worries enough of your own. Teacher will be all right. I'm here to look after her.
Then there is naught to worry about. But mind your own limits. You can't be responsible for everything.
Says the brother who never fails to do any and all that is expected of him. Unless you forget, I'm no less a Beowulf than you. It'll take more than a few mean-spirited school peers to get the better of me. But please, don't lose sight of yourself, Ramza. You needn't let your life be ruled by the fact you were born a Beowulf.
Now you're starting to sound like Mother.
Just freaking love these themes of each of these characters to some degree is nobility.
Ramza.
And each has their qualifiers of why they're really deserving. One of the things to kind of remember with this, this segment and really this whole opener, we're thrust into this kind of class war. And this is kind of how the segment or this game begins to parallel some of those 100 Years' War tropes. Essentially, a century-long feud between England and France over succession rights. But the key here is that ordinary people paid the price while the nobility and the nobles, those in power, pursued pride through this war. Now, at the same time, there's a theologian named Thomas Aquinas, and he wrote that society's hierarchy reflected divine order. Kings on top, peasants below, each fulfilling their God-given role. But Final Fantasy Tactics begins to ask what happens if that system is corrupt. And so here's what I'd like for you to ask. If you are studying along, if you want to Google this for yourself, I want you to Google the following: Thomas Aquinas, natural law. Thomas Aquinas, natural law, everybody. This might be something that you are interested in reading a little bit of, but I would be really curious what you have to say about it. And especially one phrase, maybe Thomas Aquinas, 3 states of medieval society. 3 states of medieval society. How did the church justify hierarchy as a divine order? This is a question that I would ask my class, and they would probably write an essay on it. If hierarchy is called holy, then what happens when holiness becomes self-serving? These are the questions of a good deconstruction of both history and theology. If hierarchy is called holy, what happens when holiness becomes self-serving? And listen, this is not just a question for the for medieval Europe. This is a question for us today. If hierarchy, politically, hierarchy in a company or an institution is called holy, what happens when that company, institution, political sphere, or religion becomes self-serving? Is the hierarchy more of a statement of oppression, or is it something that is more representative of a grander ideal or kingdom that is being brought about? These are the questions of people. I'd love, as we go into this next sequence, I'd love for you to kind of think about that a little bit, and certainly about what is the tension of the nobles as we and the peasants as we kind of get into some of this stuff. And so we're going to go to this merchant city of Dorter, which is oftentimes believed to be one of the hardest fights in the entire game. Okay, so we're going to bounce into this. There's some great story sequences in here as Argath, Delita, and Ramza are chasing after these, quote, rogues. We'll bring an archer, we'll bring a black mage, and of course we're going to bring our friend the white mage. Yeah, please answer the question in chat. So if hierarchy is called holy, what happens?
Do not speak false to me. I know what you've done. Where is Gustav? I will have it from you one way or another.
I don't know.
What of the Marquis? Where have you hidden him? Tell me. I will not ask again. Where are they?
The desert! They're in the desert.
The Sanrat Siege.
Hold!
The Order's swords. My luck turns foul with the weather.
It seems we did well to come here.
Have I not seen that man before?
You know him, Delita?
I have seen his face, I'm sure of it. It was at Egros, just after the war's end.
You'll pardon me my misgivings, but this has not the look of any joyous reunion. To arms!
Good point, Drumjod. Corrupted by hypocrisy, manipulation, and the abuse of power. You can imagine...
I've just remembered. That man. His name is Weegraf.
You can imagine that, especially in a religious sphere where religion is oftentimes presented as the hope of the hopeless, that if religion itself is corrupted, that is a way of controlling the lower class. And we certainly have seen that throughout ages in history. And a lot of times when that sort of abuse begins to happen, it's easy to find an argument that it is a cult, right? Cults are built on power and power dynamics.
He commanded the Dead Men during the war, a company of volunteers assembled from the peasantry.
What? Ooh, I don't know, the hierarchy per se is holy. That's good. An organizational state set apart for divine functions, it says.
Ready.
Not just useless, but pointless at that point. That's good.
I shall win glory.
Oh man, they are gonna wipe the floor with me. If we die,
we can win this.
We'll just load another one. Yeesh. Do hate that. I hope my characters don't die right now.
Right.
I guess our speed is really, really low. Okay, what kind of things do we have here? Let's get in there and get him. Well, I could chant. No, I'm not gonna chant.
Let's go.
I think that's going to hit Ramza if I do this. Yeah, it definitely will. Let's not then. And we're just gonna chill and wait. There we go.
I can do this.
This music is too good. Get them, guys. Oh, looks like I've got the high ground, Anakin. We're gonna take care of that guy. Well, we didn't take care of him. Come on down. Oh, stop shooting your stinking arrows at me, man. Oh no, he's so dead. Oh, which means we may completely lose here. Ah, I don't have a... Dang it. This is not a good moment. Not good. Oh no, this is about to be real bad. Let's get over here then. We're gonna chase down this archer. Help Delita. Suddenly this battle has become much more difficult because we have to get to him before Ramza's body decomposes.
Damn you. me then. My life.
Go, get them all.
Down with you.
Now, let's see if I can finish this race to the finish here. Okay, blood magic, fire. Got him. Almost got him. Delita, I need you to not run away. Argath will do it. We did it, chat.
We know you're of the brigade. There's no use hiding it. Out with it. What have you done with the Marquis? Where are you holding him? You were with your commander, Wiegraf, when we came upon you. 'Twould seem he cast you off as a lizard would its tail. Where has he gone? Where is your den? Mayhap a beating would loosen your tongue.
Argath,
Enough, Argath.
Listen well. A great host, with the Order at its van, prepares a sweeping campaign.
Y'all have got some great phrases in here. I'm gonna have to go through it.
You will die. You will be hunted down to the last and slaughtered like the swine you are. For such is brigandry's reward. But you, pig, are a lucky one. Tell us what we wish to know, and you may yet keep your bacon. So,
Argath is so...
where is Wiegraf?
He's so good in this scene, and because I hate him so much. Oh.
I'll not bear your ribald tongue, rogue. Learn to guard it if you've not have it cut from your throat.
Wow. I am no rogue.
Tell that to the men you've robbed.
You nobles, sir, are all
All the same.
You think every man born outside a castle's walls less than human? We fought for this kingdom at the peril of our very lives, yet the moment that the war was ended, you turned us out into the streets. What do you think makes you so special? Birth? Blood? What difference does it make?
You kidnap men for ransom, then dare ask the difference between us?
No, the Marquis's kidnapping was no plan of Wiegraf's.
What?
He would never hold a man for ransom. Such a lowly act. It goes against all we believe in.
Then who was it? Someone kidnapped the Marquis Elmdor de Limbury.
Now, what just happened there is that you have this brigand, this rogue, this low-class person who has just said that they are living by a kind of code. And I think that that is amazing. Because it's like, you would never have a code because you're worthless and you're poor and all of that kind of stuff. But here, he's subverting some of their stereotypes of it right to his very face. Y'all are saying some killer things in the chat, you guys. I don't know if I can speak to them all. I love that you found the 3 estates in society, Amy. First estate being the clergy, the second the nobility, the third estate the commoners. Seeing that big discrepancy in power. So good. Aztec, you said, I always had the mind that faith is important for a person to frame their beliefs and contextualize their morals. Gosh, and religion is an organized attempt to control others by manipulating their faith. I think it can be helpful to make that distinction, right? Anyway, we're going to get into a little bit more of that in just a moment, but good stuff so far. Y'all are crushing it, class.
Speak.
Love it.
If not you, then on whom would you pin the deed?
It was Gustav.
Who is Gustav?
Why are we
Gustav
getting
Margrave, Lieutenant
noises every
Commander
time?
of the Dead Men.
So the Corpse Brigade was behind the kidnapping?
No! We're not like Gustav. We fight to end the aristocracy, not to become it. To be treated as equals, as the men of honor we are.
To be treated as
Maggots know of
equals.
honor. That's enough, Argath! So where is this Gustav?
In the Samrat siege.
Sandrat?
You are not of Galley.
Gustav!
Small wonder you've not heard of them. Sandrats are unique to the Zeklaus Desert, north of Dorta.
Afrocloud,
point
you are
being-
exactly right.
Do any villages lie in the desert?
Villages? No. At least, not anymore. But the Desertmen once built a settlement by an oasis, and its ruins remain.
Then that's where we'll find Gustav and the Marquis.
Aye, like as not.
How can you be so certain?
A siege is a Sandrat's burrow. It's home.
So one of the things I want us to get into here is some of this kind of like nobility stuff. This is all about class warfare here. So going back to our primary sort of topic of the day, by the mid-14th century, constant war had unleashed this kind of chaos. We're going to see this class chaos here. And there were mercenaries that were aptly called free companies. If you're familiar with Final Fantasy XIV, then you understand the phrase. But these free companies pillaged the countryside between contracts. The church, rather than condemning them, they would often profit from those campaigns. Now, this is as you probably have heard of this theologian, Augustine, right? This is what Augustine describes as the city of man, which is the alternative to the city of God. The city of man is where pride rules love and the sacred becomes kind of silent. The Avignon popes even suppressed kind of the Knights Templar to appease the French crown, proving faith had become this political tool. So here's something that I would like for you to Google really quick. If you're kind of being active in this, Google free companies, 100 Years War. Okay, and that could be a really interesting thing. I'd love for you to find some of the history of that. And ask yourself the question, what did people do when their leaders abandoned them? What was their response? So what did people do when their leaders abandoned them? Say during the 100 Years War, include free companies in there. You know, this is kind of the thing when religion, when nobility sells silence for security. What happens to the truth? And what happens if those that are in power are writing the history? What kind of happens to society at that point? These are the questions that we kind of ask in this game. I think it's a really just cool, interesting stuff.
You've taken leave of your senses, Gustav.
Have I? What hope does your fool revolution hold? Dreams do not fill a man's stomach or make soft the packed earth on which he beds.
You see naught beyond the end of your nose. The crown strays, Gustav. It must be led back onto the path.
And you think yourself the man to do this? More fool you, Weegraf.
You have spoken your fill. Then we are done.
Weegraf! The Marquis!
No further. You vermin!
Stay yourself, Argath.
The Marquis is unharmed. You are free to return him to Egros.
Why release him?
The Marquis's abduction was ill done. Such craven methods serve not our ends. Let me walk free, and I will release the Marquis to your care. A fair bargain.
You mock us. You are in no position to bargain.
Enough, Argath. He speaks the truth.
Put your backs to that wall. Give me no cause to doubt your sincerity.
Oh.
Let him go, Argath.
Why do you stay me?
The Corpse Brigade is finished, in any case. There is naught to be gained by a quarrel here.
The Marquis is well. He is weak, but he would seem unharmed.
We must see him back to Egros.
Okay, one of the things I like about this particular scene is this tension among the nobility. There's a differentiation between the code and the way that they're going about fulfilling some of those things. I think it's a really kind of a cool dichotomy, and you see the nobility even turning in on themselves. And I'm using nobility as synonyms for those who are in power here. They don't necessarily have to be rich, but the knights are clearly more in power for the most part. But then you've got the lower class brigade or brigands who are also trying to figure out what is going to be their code. Is it about kidnapping the Marquis? Is it about doing things the right way and fighting those who are in power and leaving, not just wreaking havoc and chaos on everybody? It's important to remember that after soldiers had outlived their usefulness in the war, they were oftentimes tossed to the side and forgotten about. And that's one of the tragedies that befalls many veterans, even to this day, right? After they've outlived their usefulness, well, then what? And while the military and the government has tried to do some interesting things as far as offering them payment for college and scholarships and that kind of thing, there's still this sense of, back when they felt most useful. If you've ever spoken to a veteran who's just down on his luck or something like that and just hasn't been able to find their place in regular society outside of service. And so in this game, in this story, they're kind of turning to these less than elegant lifestyles. Why? Because it's kind of that resistance to power in a lot of ways. I think it's kind of a neat commentary in a lot of ways. Yeah, Aztec Paladin says, much like the Corpse Brigade in this game, the free companies were effectively mercenary guilds that were paid for their services during the war. And after their services were rendered, the church and the crown would eventually turn on them, disavowing them and claiming they acted on their own, leaving them with ruined reputations and no pay for their deeds. Excellent comment there. Yeah, it's exactly freaking right. And it's so interesting to kind of see the parallels between this and actual history. The coordination of this scene where he negotiates his way out of the room, orders them to the other side and slips by. Staging of it is so good, Subtext. I'm glad that you're in the chat tonight to kind of talk about that a little bit. Let's continue thinking a little bit about some of this. Ramza and the friends. This is where we meet one of my favorite characters, Miluda of the Corpse Brigade. And so they are heading out to get rid of the Corpse Brigade, and this is where we meet Miluda. I'm going to let her kind of speak for herself after the end of that battle.
I'm no more than chattel to you, am I? So have my head and be done with it.
And this is great because they've gone after, again, this groups of brigands, right? And during the battle, they're going to get some fascinating kind of dialogue in there where she is characterizing them as these highborn imposters, essentially. And Argath has some words for her. Ramza is saying, no, it's not like that. And she is just like, you don't know what it's like to suffer like we suffered. And this is the aftermath after you have taken down all of her squadron.
Do you truly hold us to be so foul?
Do it, Ramza. She fights as a corpse. Let her become one in truth. She's a foe and a traitor, an enemy of House Beowulf. The world has no place for such wretches. Her claim to life is forfeit. Spare her now, and you place your seal on the warrants for our own deaths. It's her or us, Ramza. Strike her down!
Try as I might, Ramza, I cannot think this woman our enemy.
Have you lost your wits?
She is no more chattel than you or I.
Okay, chat, this is what I'm talking about. Among the nobility, Ramza, Delita, and Argath, there is dissension of how we are going to deal with these people that are the, quote, commoners, the rebels, the resistance.
You would turn against our cause, Delita. I should have expected as much.
You deny me even the mercy of an honorable death. Pox on you and your pity. So long as you bear the name Beowulf, you will ever remain an enemy to me. You do well to remember that.
Delita? What have we done?
A pox on your pity, indeed.
What did these people
Just
think?
absolutely love that scene. We are going to go through several of these cutscenes and kind of dissect them, because I feel like here at the beginning, we've got to get a good picture of what's happening in this story so we can make some apt parallels. Interesting choice, the name Corpse Brigade, Jedi says, like it's almost like they're embodying the idea of walking death or something like that, and that's kind of it, right? Societally, they are. You say, Smith, I love that.
No! I won't go! Release me!
Be quick about it.
Let go of me! Help! Zobog!
Oh, yeah. Time to cut my losses. Are you unhurt?
Yes, but Tetra...
Yes, I know.
Back at the mines.
Lord Brother!
Worry not. I am fine. Alma, are you all right?
They did not harm me, but you're bleeding.
In no fevered dream would I have thought the brigade so bold to strike us here. They must have come for me.
5 among our guard are slain, and Tetra taken. Like as not to ease their escape.
Find them. Search every den and dovecot if you must.
Please, brother, you mustn't speak.
Accursed rebels.
Dice dog!
Someone! Anyone!
Okay, so once again, like this is more of a story sort of moment. But remember the very first question that we asked. What is Delita doing? Why is Delita acting in these particular ways? Just another quick cutscene.
I'm told you handled your duties most efficiently. Leave the aftermath in our brother's capable hands, and take a much-deserved rest. You've done well. Fear not for me. My wounds are not as grave as they might seem.
Lord Brother, what of Tetra?
The Order of the Northern Sky will begin a full-scale assault on the brigade as soon as their garrison is found.
But...
The enemy is routed. Even counting those fled, less than 100 of their number remain. Their leader yet eludes us. But time grows short for Wheatgraft foals.
And for Tetra as well. You would leave her to her fate.
Notice the dichotomy between Dystarg's insistence of we're after Wheatgraft, and Ramza keeps on saying, but what about Tetra? It's the personal versus the kind of more global, national scope. Just again, that kind of divided loyalty to their leadership.
I have taken measures to ensure Tetra's well-being. The attack waits upon her safe return, however long that may take. Tetra is as a sister to me. I would never turn my back on her.
Think matters through, Delita. Where would you even go? You must calm yourself.
Calm myself? My only sister is taken by cutthroats, and you would have me calm?
I would have you obey reason. We know not where to begin. To search now would be fruitless.
Fruitless? You speak of my sister's life!
You heard my lord brother. He said he would not abandon her. But there's little we can do. Delita, I cannot breathe. Forgive me, Ramza. Are you all right? I'll be fine.
I'd not believe a word of that fairy tale if I were you.
You call my brother a liar?
I do. I would not go out of my way to rescue some common maid.
Ugh.
What did you say?
I said he would be a fool to hold back an army for fear of spilling a few drops of your common blood.
Why, you?
Stop this, Delita!
Release me! Damn you, Ramza! Release me!
It's as I've always said. Common blood, common man. You'll never be more than you were born, Delita. You don't belong in our world. You should be licking our boots with the rest of your ilk, churl.
That does it.
Enough, Delita. And you as well, Argath.
Open your eyes.
Don't you just hate him?
Delita is not one of us. It isn't proper that you should mix with such as he. Surely you see that.
Delita is my friend, and a dear one. We've been as brothers all our lives.
And that blinds you to the truth. You're a man grown, Ramza. It's time you left the playthings of your boyhood behind.
Yeah.
You are a son of House Beowulf. A birth high even among the highborn. Such company ill suits you. Your brothers see this, I'm sure. Even if you choose not to.
Not everyone of high birth is as ill-bred as you.
Be gone from my sight. And do not think to return.
Get out of here, Argath. We hate this guy. It's the mark of a good actor to make you hate him.
Remove yourself. I'll not ask again.
The brigade makes its base at Zeekton. Your lord brother told me himself. You've no hope of reaching the fortress from the fore. Their defenses are too strong. A rear assault is your only chance. Best of luck, my soft-hearted friend. You'll need it.
Be gone!
Get out of here. Hate that guy. Hate that guy. Infuriates me. If you don't hate him enough, I am going to go pull up really quickly this horrible, horrible scene. Brace yourself. It's at the beginning of a battle that we chose not to fight for time's sake in here, but I want to I want to show it to you. It's so frustrating.
I fear this may be the end for us.
Do not say that. The battle is not yet over.
We mustn't give in to despair. The nobles must answer for all they've wrought.
It ought not to have been like this. My brother was too soft, too indecisive.
I love the little shuffle of feet.
I owe you a debt of gratitude for rescuing the Marquis. I pray I am able to repay it, even a little, by aiding you in this.
Alright, so our objective is just to defeat Maluda.
So he's going to narrate for us, I guess.
Technically, we don't have to defeat all the other enemies.
How can you nobles live as you do and yet hold your head so high?
They don't understand the plight of the people beneath them, so they're just looking out for each other, basically.
All right, Quasi.
We are humans, no less than you. What flaw do you hold there to be in us? That we were born between a different set of walls? Do you know what it means to hunger? To sup for months on naught but broth of bean? While you wage your wars that you might grow fat, we are made to starve. You call us thieves, but it is you who steal from us the right to live.
Damn right, girl.
You, no less human than we? Now there's a beastly thought. You've been less than we from the moment your base-born father fell upon your mother in whatever gutter saw you sired.
It's bad.
God, Argith is the worst.
I'm glad that we are in alliance about that,
Delito,
Quasi.
We won't hit you this time for XP. We'll just hit Argith.
You've been chattel since you came into the world, drenched in common blood.
By whose decree? Who decides such foul and absurd things?
And you remember, chat, we answered that, right?
Heaven's will.
We answered that because one of the things that we talked about was the social hierarchy. Who decided that? Well, it was God. It was heaven's will. And this is one of the ways that they explained it back in those days. And Argath, in some ways, is kind of pushing that. And what was meant is kind of a merciful sort of like, this is kind of the way of things, but all are kind of valued. But there is this social order, according to heaven, was coerced and co-opted. One of the things that Aquinas and others did push forward is, yes, there are those in high nobility and those that are more common, but it is heaven's will, additionally, that those on top are going to help those on the bottom. And yet those in power forgot that secondary part. That's kind of the scene that I think is just so incredibly frustrating, but anyway, you saw that. So we're gonna go on and do some of these incredibly quickly. There are a few scenes that we're gonna watch, and we're gonna finish up chapter 1 and close out with a pretty big moment in lecture. We're gonna place 5 units, and we're gonna kind of let them go.
I will do my utmost. Ready as ever.
All of my ninjas. Notice their names, chat. This is the team that I have. I've got Ramza, I've got Irenaeus, I've got Justin Martyr, Clementine of Alexandria. It's Clement of Alexandria, but I made it Clementine because it was a female. Then I've got Origen, who is also a female, but I felt like Origen could go either way as far as a name. So anyway, that's the fun we're having. So let's commence. Yeah.
To battle.
They guard this way as well. No route is left for us out of these highlands.
Then let us lower.
Chat, I'll tell you, I've tried to play Final Fantasy Tactics 4 times in my life, and the first 3 times I failed, and the voice acting got me through it this time, and the quality of life thing is
I
good.
too to do so swinging a sword than swinging from the gallows. I'll not be led
God, I
away
love
in
this game.
chains.
Okay, let's go after Maluda.
Where is Wheatgrass? What have you done with Tetra?
What have you done with Tetra?
Tetra. That Beowulf girl Gregoroth took hostage.
Teacher is my sister, no more a Beowulf than you. Please, she's no value as a hostage. Return her, I beg you!
Return your sister? As you nobles return what you take from us?
Coda,
Our
you're
lives,
exactly right.
Our
Yeah.
dignity, and all else that you have claimed as your own?
I'll
We
kind of
ask
close out
nothing
on that
more
at the
than
end.
that you return to us
Talk about more
what
about
is
that.
ours by right. But you deny us even that. You take and take until there is naught left. And you wonder why we take up arms against you. Why we struggle, though it cost us our lives. Save your high-born breath. Your words are wind, and no amount of howling will see your sister free.
But I am not your enemy. My turn.
Where is our dear friend? Rebecca? No. Miluda. Let's just get on up here and start attacking. Oh, Mega Boss, you know I love this. You know I love this. It's just terrific. This is what I live for. This kind of conversation. Okay, we're gonna wait. I'm vibing. I'm for real vibing. You are not joking. Oh, she's gonna move. Crap. Dang it! And take away my hat. Don't you slow me. Don't you fire me. Good hit. It did sound like a... yeah. Good deal. Bounce over here. And she's done for. Got her.
I mustn't fall. Our struggle is not yet won.
Why this struggle? Does your cause truly demand such bloodshed? Have we wronged you? If we are the reason for your suffering, what would you have us do? I wish to understand it. What fuels your hatred?
Ivalice are they who knowingly grease the wheel of
Ooh.
our oppression.
Banger!
Still, it is enough that you can stand before me in ignorance.
Yeah.
You may not see the world beyond your high walls, but that does not mean they mark its boundaries.
Put it on some farmwood and sell it at Hobby Lobby. You may not see the world beyond your high walls, but that does not mean they mark its boundaries. Ha! Jeez! That's a good banger line.
It may well be you've done no wrong, but it is your place in the world that drives my hatred on. You bear the name Beowulf, and that name is my enemy. I am a soldier of the Corpse Brigade. I will not turn and run.
Lay down your weapon, Miluda. The battle is lost. Sheathe your blade and let us talk.
He sounds just like
Surely
Joshua.
we can find some common ground. I will speak to my brother, even Duke Larg himself. You must trust me.
For you to lend an ear. What then? High-born or no, a lone cub cannot set the world aright by his mewling.
A lone cub cannot set the world aright by his mewling. Who wrote this?
You have been blind to our woes since the day you were born. What hopes have you of easing them? If you wish to ease aught, it is your own conscience, your shame for having your naivety laid bare. And so you offer us pity for all the good it will do our cause. Nay, I will not be taken by your honeyed words. I have heard my share of noble lies.
Wow.
I'll hear no more.
My words are not false. I wish to help. I truly do. Mayhap I am powerless, as you say. But ere you continue on this bloody path, will you not consider another? Work together with me. Or even use me if you'd rather. I ask only that you try for peace.
Try for peace. Ah, gosh, Chad.
Work together, you say? Do not make me laugh. To utter those words and be deaf to the arrogance in them. You truly are a high-born cup. You will never change. For that, I pity and despise you.
Oh.
Forgive me, brother.
Why? Why must it end like this?
What am I doing? What have I become?
And then it's such happy music after the most incredibly heartbreaking monologue I've ever heard in my life. But what a profound thing to say.
But why kidnap the girl?
We had to take a hostage. There was no other way to escape.
Chat, we're going to get through Fort Zeekton and then call it a night, but we've got a final lecture topic to bring up there.
Ensure that House Beowulf and the Northern Sky come hunting us in force. Do not tell me this madness has taken even you.
Liken me not to Gustav. Have more sense than that faithless cur. Think, Queegraf. We've lost the greater part of our number, and the Order closes upon us from all sides. She is of Beowulf's blood. 100 swords, 1,000 could not buy our freedom with such ease.
Amy, great point.
So we fly. What then? Know you some happy haven in which we may alight? If we flee, they win once more, as they have always won. We must make for our children a fairer future than the past you and I have known. They must not suffer as we do. The stones we cast might raise only the smallest of waves, but see how they crash upon the shore. Waves rich with our blood, 'tis true.
Then for the sake of the cause, you order us to our deaths?
If by our deaths a single drop of noble blood should water the earth, they shall not be in vain.
Foolishness. The only blood the earth will drink will be our own.
The remainder of our forces should yet be safe in our fastness at Zeekton. We must rejoin them. Together we have the strength to strike.
And if they are already dead?
Milyuda. Slain. Impossible. My dear sister.
Sounds good, Jedi. Thanks for being in. We'll see you later.
The company which slew her must approach even now. Your orders, Commander?
We quit this place at once. We shall make for our fastness at Zeekton. The girl will be left here, Gragorath.
The Northern Sky is upon us. They attack.
They waste little time. I shall hold them off here.
That's right.
Gragorath, you will take the others and make for Zeekton.
I will run, yes. But I do not mean to die.
Oh my gosh. Every scene just gets me more. I just love it.
Your faces are known to me. But I did not know that you would one day kill my sister.
Now, this is what is a great moment here for us to kind of consider. Ramza and Delita are showing remorse, but that does not mean that they didn't do what just transpired. Miluda is dead at their hands. And even though it's not what they wanted to do, this is what this division has kind of caused. There are sides, there's partisan loyalty, and it is an us or them sort of situation. While Ramza and Delita are beginning to understand that us or them is no longer sufficient in the world, they need more of an us for them kind of mindset. Someone is dead. And that is absolutely kind of the difficulty in changing your mind, in kind of repenting and recanting former ways, because you also have to recant an entire side, but they still represent the nobility to these people, even in the midst of their remorse, and there's got to be payment, and that's why we battle.
Miluda deserved a better death. They did not even send proper knights to kill her.
She was your sister. I am sorry.
I will not flee before her murderers. I'll avenge Miluda's death or die trying.
Defeat Wiegraf.
My turn.
My turn. Let's get them all. Nope, actually we just have the one objective, so let's speed along and get him then.
My sister, Tetra. You will set her free.
Your
That's
sister?
exactly right, Coda.
Then you were a Beowulf, yes?
He is not. If it is a Beowulf you seek, address yourself to me. The girl you abducted is his sister, and neither are connected to me by blood.
So Gregoroth has erred. But surely the girl must hold some connection with House Beowulf.
So you draw no distinction between our house and those who deal with us?
Should I? Well, it matters not. There was no question as to her release. We make no habit of holding hostages. But first, we've a score to settle.
We have a score to settle.
You will see her free. If you live to see aught at all.
Coda said, death begets death. They may not want to have killed her, but they continued forward because they were afraid of Tetra's death. And now someone seeks vengeance against them for it, and that's kind of the way it goes, round and round.
Lay down your arms, Wiegraf. What end will more death serve?
What end did my sister's death serve?
We did not set out to kill her. This quarrel need not be settled by the sword. Let us treat, and persist not in this bloodshed.
And again, just the explanation. It's there, but it's not enough.
You see it not. The reason we hold fast to our steel. What advantage might I hope to enjoy at the treaty table?
That's good.
And who it's even were it in your power, your brothers would never heed any agreement we might reach.
My brothers do not want this fight. Set down your sword, Wiegraf, and they will treat with you.
Ha! No spoony bard could spin a sweeter tale.
Great line.
You say your brothers do not want this fight? Tears, then. For the world you see is one beyond my weary sight. Right then.
Crap, I'm about to get burned. Ouch. 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 Oh, regen. Let's just bounce up here and create even a bigger fire hazard. Bam, bam, bam. Got him.
You would have me believe my
team.
brothers want this war.
Callow child. The hands that guide history's reins are ever black with blood. Think you Dystarg's hand more just? A new justice is born and dies on the lips of each man who would pronounce it.
Do not mock my brothers.
It was a cluster
You fight
bomb.
well, boy. Forgive me, Miluda. I There is too much left undone for me to lay down my life now.
Wegraf!
Wait!
Gustav kidnapped Marquis Elmdor for ransom. It is true. But 'twas another pulled the strings. One who furnished the knowledge of when and where the Marquis would lodge along his journey from Limbury. Shall I tell you the identity of this puppet master? It was none other than your lord brother, Dicedog.
Dun dun dun!
He acted with Lord Zalbarg's knowledge, to be sure.
Absurd! Why would Dicedog do such a thing?
In the void left by the king's death, the lions will vie for power. Larg the White and Gultana the Black. Each hopes to learn who may be counted as friend and who as foe. But such things are not so easily read. Far easier to rid yourself of those whose loyalty is uncertain, and install others to rule in their stead.
So we have Duke Larg
Fool that he was,
and
tired
Gultana.
of our rebellion, and was taken in by the
Very
silver tongue
reminiscent
your
of this
dear
kind
brother
of
Dicedog.
contested
Lies!
multiple papacy
No
sort of
Beowulf would do a
situation
thing so craven as this!
that we've
Do
been
not
talking
take
about.
my word for it. Judge their actions for yourself.
Farewell.
Farewell, young Beowulf.
Wegraf!
Coward!
Coward! You insult my name and flee in the same breath.
And a happy song again.
Teacher! Teacher, where are you?
She's not here. Where have they taken her? Wegraf has lied to us. Come, Delita. We must hurry to Ziegton.
Hurry to Ziegton.
Teacher is there. I'm certain of it.
Why? Why is this happening? Why, Ramsar? Why, Teacher?
I'm sorry, Delita.
Okay, as we go into this final scene here, this is kind of where our finale is tonight. And at the end of chapter 1, we get to see the reason why Delita kind of becomes who he does at the beginning of this chapter, right? So let's proceed. As we go into this, I want you to remember a couple of things. Thinking about certainly the nobility, but I also want you to think about the loyalties to Larg and Gultana. I want you to think about the dynamics of the city of God and the city of man.
Back whence you
social
came,
hierarchy
quick as
that we talked
shadows,
about as
while
well.
this one's blood makes crimson snow. Do not think to try my patience. This keep packs such a store of powder as you could scarce imagine. More than enough to deliver the lot of you to the Father's keeping, should your feet lack proper haste.
The order of the northern sky yields not before the braying of rogues.
Lord Brother! Argath?
Chat, before we get into this battle, I've got a Google assignment for you to think about Delita's final phrase that he just shared with us. Why is this happening? This is the question of most philosophies and religions in the world. And in religious terminology, in theology, we refer to it as theodicy, Theodicy. Theodicy is the question of why is there evil in the world? Is God good? Is God capable? It's these difficult questions that we sometimes ask as human beings all the time. One of the questions that Delita is asking here is, why is this happening? So I want you to Google a couple of things. Number one, I want you to Google Boethius, and I want you to Google Boethius, evil as absence of good, and I want you to Google Augustine, disordered loves. I want you to read a little bit while I'm taking on this battle, because these are two explanations for why do bad things happen in the world. Questions that Delita himself may be trying to sort out. So Boethius and Augustine, Boethius and his knowledge of evil as absence of good, and Augustine as disordered wives.
Teacher!
Share your findings in the chat, please.
Delete her!
I'll not warn you again. Withdraw at once, or the girl dies.
This changes nothing. Argath, loose your attack.
Yes, my lord.
Gods have mercy.
Delete her? I'm sorry.
Teacher!
Lord Commander, more enemies scaled apart. 2 mayhap 3. A man of Wiegraf's look moves among them. Very well. We go to greet them at once. I leave the rest to you, Argath.
Curse the lawyer!
Teacher!
And where do you presume to go, Deleter?
You whoreson dog!
It is to be a fight, then. I'm only too happy to oblige. The gods know I've waited for this.
Zalbog. Dicedog. How could you?
Come. I will show you that common blood makes naught but a common man.
This past Sunday's reading in the lectionary included Habakkuk. How long, O Lord, I cry for help, but you do not listen. Gosh, that's a good one, Smith.
Why did you do it, Argath? What moved your hand?
Your lord brother's orders, Ramsar. What else? Would you have had us kneel before them and offer up the order's honor in exchange for the life of some common wench?
She was Deleter's sister!
Is it not time you awoke to the fact that we are different from them? They are of lesser birth, and so meant to play lesser roles in life. Such is the nature of fate, Ramsar. That commoner and his sister ought never to have been here at all. Had they been with their own kind, supping on broth of bean, she would yet live.
Broth of bean.
My turn.
What of you, Ramsar? Why do you now raise arms against us? This is naught short of treason. You would turn your cloak and name yourself a traitor to the Order of the Northern Sky.
But the Order would never forgive what you've done.
Does your naivety know no end? How ironic is fate that one such as you would be born a Beowulf. Despite the privileges the name has afforded you, you would forsake duty and tarnish the honor of your house. Mayhap it is because you are youngest, and bastard-born besides. You think yourself spared the burdens of your lord brothers, and look only to satisfy your own whims. It brings bile to my throat. 'Tis a mockery that you are a Beowulf.
All right, now hear this. When the lines are drawn among between the nobility and the commoners or the low class, sometimes that isn't even enough, and so the nobility creates subclasses, and this is kind of what is happening here. This is Argath saying, "You're not as noble as I am," right? And that is what happens. Kind of goes down. Do not break my helmet.
Make your peace with the gods, Argath.
Brr, that was cold.
My birth was not of my choosing, nor the burdens that come with it. Of such, you ought know.
Spare me the bleating, you are no sheep. You are a Beowulf, self-chosen or not. Yours is a line of champions, of lords among men. To do great deeds is your destiny, and your duty as well. Much is there that cannot be done save by your hand. It falls to you to see it so, to act where we cannot. Yet by the same token, you have choices. Ones that are denied your lessers. For your name brings great wealth and influence both. If you only embraced them, nary a thing would be beyond your reach.
I mean, just the allure
Yet
of
what
power.
should you do instead but squander your gifts, while I must
Love the
grasp at
commentary.
scraps that come tumbling? Speak not to me of burdens.
So he's talking about how he's actually low class because he's like lower than the Beowulfs, and Ramsa's not even deserving of it. This is how the nobility eats itself. What's it called? The Ouroboros? The snake that's eating its own tail or whatever? Oh my, or it's a snake that's eating itself? Ugh.
Mayhap you speak true, but I will not be made a puppet.
You?
A puppet?
Don't be absurd. The puppets stand before you, Ramsa. Long have we danced for House Beowulf that it might reign on history's stage. A dance that serves our ends, to be sure. Indeed, the Beowulf name is our shield behind whose aegis we've long thrived. It is the way of things. People are used and use others in turn. How do you think you came to be where you are? You are loath to be used, yet you feign use others, even your so-called friend, Delita.
What do you mean? I will not give up.
You don't need to give up, Ramsa. You just need to kill him. Well, that wasn't the way to do it. You are gonna die now. Oh, except the white mage is here. What? The white mage is here to help. That's right, we're back at it. That's fine, you can attack the black mage. Ow, try to burn me.
You play the White Knight, but I'd have fed panthers on the plain had you not seen some use in me.
Don't be absurd! I would never turn my back on one Beset.
Then you'd best learn to start. Many a trap-sprung lion would sooner have his savior for a meal than for a friend. Does it grieve you, Delita, to see the depths of your own weakness laid bare?
You jerk.
No mere commoner can leave their mark on history. You've not the power. Be glad you know enough to lament it. 'Tis all you can do, and more than you deserve.
Has your forked tongue ceased flitting? What I'd hear from your lips are not words.
Laughter, then. Be not so hasty, Delita. You'll hear that soon enough, when you are on your way to your dear sister's side.
I'll not be told what I will do. Nor will I be used, not by any man. Not anymore. From this day forth, teacher, we will walk our own path, and be beholden to none. But you, Argath, you will not live to see the morrow. Ere the day is through, your bones will crack beneath my boots. Thus will I mark my first step towards a new beginning. By trampling your mangled corpse.
I mean, this does not sound like the same Delita.
Stiff opposition.
Which is good. Oh, he shot the wrong person. I don't even care about the others. Let's all go get Argath. Oh, Delita? Delita's gonna do it.
Damn it. Damn it all. The fruits of my labors.
The fruits of my labors.
No. Not at the hands of milksop chels. I am better than this. Better than you all.
Ugh. He died like a dog. Goodbye, Argath. All right, let's watch what happens next, and then we'll close out our lecture tonight.
I'm sorry, Delita.
What was that? The powder.
The powder.
Delita! We must away! Delita! I had lived my life the only way that I had known. But when the pillars of that life came crashing down, I did not stand by and watch them fall. I turned and walked away.
So then it flashes back to modern day. Remember how we began with Delita showing up and Ramza realizing, oh, Delita's alive.
He carries the princess with him. They'll not be able to travel far.
You mean to give chase?
What else? I will not return to the crown in shame.
Well, you'll have no help from us. Our agreement said naught of this.
I would not accept your help if you offered it.
Love
A true knight is all
Agrius.
too eager to set right what they have let go amiss. The Lion's Guard will serve the king's justice. Lavian, Elisier, we leave at once.
Oh, and here's the church.
Elder Simon, are you hurt?
The princess. What of the princess?
She is taken. I am sorry. But you may put your fears to rest. We go to rescue her.
No. No, milady, you mustn't. You would only throw your own life away.
Don't do it.
Your worry will find no purchase with me. A knight is oath-bound to render aid.
I want to go with you. I'll be no trouble to you, I swear it.
Don't be an idiot, Ramza. This is no
Don't.
concern of ours.
I must go. I must know if it's truly him.
The boy, eh? Well, there it is. Gods know where this path will lead us.
That's what we're saying in the series. Yep. All right, so then chapter 2 begins. But before we get into all of that, I do want us to watch the animation of that scene. What we just watched animated, yeah.
Tetra? What was that? Delita, we must away!
God, it's so brutal in the animation.
Delita? Delita! I had lived my life the only way that I had known. Gosh. But when the pillars of that life came crashing down, I did not stand by and watch them fall.
Crazy powerful stuff there. Okay, so here's how we're going to end up tonight. We ended with Fort Ziegton, and this is where tragedy strikes and it gives us framing for what happened to Delita, right? Tetra's death breaks down Delita's faith in both the crown and the church, and his grief echoes one of theology's oldest questions, the problem of evil. In my classes, I always talk about two competing ideologies. I had you Google them a little bit earlier. First of all, you have Augustine. Augustine taught that sin begins with this idea that love can be disordered. when good desires become twisted toward pride or vengeance. And we see this with kind of like what we talked about with Thomas Aquinas, the idea of heaven's hierarchy, that it is God's will or heaven's wish, as Argath says, that there is a nobility and there is a peasant class, but it is for the purpose of the nobility to care for the peasant class. And there's this kind of mutual love amongst them all, that they are all equal in a lot of ways, but those who have much can give to those who have little. Augustine taught that sin begins with a disordered love. And I think that that's such a key and important thing. As we also think about disordered love, we also have the converse of that, which is what I asked you to Google Boethius. Boethius discussed the idea that evil isn't so much a substance, but it's rather the absence of good. It's not that love has been disordered, but it's instead that there is no good in a person or in a situation or in the world. And so Boethius argues that if he were to see Final Fantasy Tactics, that Delita may become an embodiment of that void. In that where there is a void of goodness and love, justice is now consumed by anger. And that's kind of what leads Delita to part ways with nobility and peasants and all of it. He's just doing his own thing here. And I think that's a really, really fascinating sort of thing as we move into chapter 2 of this game. So I want to talk a little bit briefly here at the end about the Western Schism that we talked about at the beginning of class tonight. When Gregory XI finally returned the papacy to Rome and died in 1378, there were rival factions that elected 2 popes, one in Rome and one in Avignon. That's what we talked about earlier. Now, each declared the other illegitimate, even though they were both technically nobility. This was the Western Schism, a 40-year crisis that left Europe spiritually divided. For a time, there were even 3 popes, until the Council of Constance resolved the chaos in about 1417. Now, I want you to imagine living in a world where even your priests don't know who the real pope is. That's kind of Ivalice. There's competing truths, there's warring faiths, there's disputed loyalties, and there's a church and nobility that is fractured by ambition. Zalbag and Deisdarg, Gultana and Larg, you have so many different moving pieces in this, and you have a society that doesn't really know the proper way, and each one in power is trying to convey a message that's going to manipulate the masses. That is what Final Fantasy Tactics is really all about, at least at this stage. Now, as we get further into this lecture series, we are going to see more and more. Tonight, everybody, we've seen how Ivalice mirrors the chaos of late medieval Europe, where war and pride and politics corrupted faith. And for my sensibilities as a religion professor, religious studies scholar, and somebody that just takes a more than passing interest in it, this stuff is what I just live for and I eat up. As history shows, however, true belief does not depend on palaces or crowns. It survives in integrity, humility, and love. Earlier tonight, I had the esteemed honor of getting to go to a keynote speech from a Jesuit priest, Father Gregory Boyle. This guy runs the largest gang rehabilitation ministry industry in the entire world, with over 300 kind of stations in the US and 50 more internationally. He's located in LA, and he serves tens of thousands of gang members to try to rehabilitate them into everyday life. So he came and he spoke to the Honors College at the University of Alabama, where I teach tonight, and his words were incredible. You ever been in the presence of somebody, even if you don't always believe the same things they believe, you are looking at somebody and you're like, I want to be like that. That was me tonight. I'm sitting in the presence, and I've got to have breakfast and dinner with this guy last night. I'm sitting with him, and I'm just the entire time thinking, I want to have a religion, I want to have a faith like that. The kind of faith that sees people as people. He was moved to the smallest and most poverty-stricken parish in all of California, I think, but especially in LA. It was the hub of densest area for gang violence back in like the 1990s when he first moved there. And one of the things that is so wild to me, 1980s when he first moved there, is that he took this on, he chose it, and instead of just kind of barricading the walls and saying, we're gonna have the church and we're gonna bring in all the rich people to come into our walls and into the church, instead of doing that, he took his ministry to the streets. And so he walked into gang meetings. He befriended these people, and it all kind of started when he left his church one day, found some gang members that were kind of hanging out around the church, and he said to them, hey, if I could find a place that a school that would take you, would you go? And they all said yes. No school would take these gang members, and so the writing was on the wall. And so his church started a school, and he started to school gang members. He built a rapport with them, and before long, he became the priest of those gang members. You can read one of his books. The book that my classes have been reading this semester are called Tattoos on the Heart, and it's the stories of these gang members. And the thing that I heard again and again from him, not just over the 2 days, but throughout the whole book, is this, that there is no division among humanity. People are not characterized by their worst decisions. And like I always say on stream, no one should be known by their worst thing, because the worst things in life are never the last thing. This is something that I heard echoed in his ministry. I want to share with you 4 things that he said tonight that really hit me. He said the core of Jesus' teachings center on these things, these 4 things: inclusion, nonviolence, unconditional loving kindness, and compassionate acceptance. For all of the bad news about the church and some of the things that we're going to talk about over the next 4 weeks, these are also the 4 things that I want us to really lean into. What does it look like for there to be a faith, a religiosity, a society that is built on inclusion, nonviolence, unconditional loving kindness, and compassionate acceptance? What if we did that? And even if our institutions, our churches, our political scope can't be those things, what if we can? And that's kind of the message that I want to leave us all with tonight. The worst things in life, the worst things in society, they don't have to be the last things. That's why we're doing this lecture series. We're going to deconstruct what it means to have religion throughout the centuries. We're going to talk about the pretty parts and some of the ugly parts. On week 3, I'm specifically excited because we're going to talk about the canonization process of Scripture and how all of the conversations that went into that, because there's a lot of things that are misconstrued about that, and we're going to really talk about some of that. I hope that you've enjoyed this first lecture series, and here's what I'll say. We are just getting started. In the meantime, make sure you check out profnoctis.com for all of our lecture series schedule, as well as some of our research assistants work. We have a new place called The Studium, which is going to be absolutely amazing. Our research assistants have been contributing works and essays. You can find some Last of Us, some Final Fantasy X, and even some Final Fantasy VII Rebirth information in there. It's going to be really, really good. And the Final Fantasy Tactics stuff is going to be up probably tomorrow, some of the early stuff for Chapter 1. So get excited for some of that extra reading. With that, everybody, have a terrific night. Can't wait to be with you. Until next time, walk tall, my friends. Always a pleasure to be with you. Have a great weekend. We'll see you next time.